The US government, Donald Trump, is coming to Nigeria to take our oil and gas and gold in the north. Abeg, you people should not agree for him to come. If you are among those Nigerians that saying this nonsense, your brain need to be serviced. That means you have a coconut head. So we have gold, we have oils in this country, and you never benefited anything on it. And the politicians are busy saving your money outside Nigeria. The poverty is ravaging everywhere. The terrorists are buying people. They never done anything. Until now, they are running haters that are telling you that they are coming to invade you to take your mineral resources. Let them come and take the mineral resources and solve the problem of insecurity in this country. It's better that you live without being kidnapped, without being pie, than you have mineral resources. Why some families in the politician are enjoying it and training terrorists to buy you? Look at somebody like Asari Dokubo. How did he get those guns? How did he create those people? And who is the kidnappers in the bush? Which evidence where they have solved problem in Nigeria? Please, I want you to watch these videos that I'm going to play for you. There's a man on ground working hard for the betterment of Nigeria. And there is one person in the other hand negotiating with the bandits and Fulani herdsmen in Nigeria. And there is one prophecy that Martin Nandikari said here years ago, was 2015. I'm going to play you that video for you to also watch. Please share this video as you watch them. Those people where they thought say America are coming to do this, yeah. Man, Nigeria happen to you and your family. That is my prayer for you people. Hypocrisy.
If it's China coming to say that, people will believe it. Because China is not prognosing into our internal affairs. If it's Russians, people will believe them. But America are not to be liars. They said Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction, and there is none. And they have caused confusion in Iraq, in Libya, and everywhere. So when they said Muslims are killing, or there is massacre of Muslims, like Christians in Nigeria, from which side? They didn't specify whether it is the government or whether it is the Muslims that are doing it, or even if Christians are targeted. Whatever it is, if Americans can cure and eliminate the terrorists, I will welcome it myself. But I know they cannot.
Okay, when you say they cannot,
let me tell you. Okay. They have fought 20 years in Afghanistan. They could not finish them. Afghanistan is in Syria now. This same thing. And this terrorists you see, it's not easy to just come and drop bombs here and there and think you finish them. They have infiltrated the society, so it's going to cause more damage. More Muslims and more Christians will be killed if America would drop a bomb in Nigeria. I'm telling you this. You can take it for a record. So what we are trying to avoid, we are going to even compound it. Look, myself, I have been trying to see how we can pacify these people. I've been going to see how we can pacify these people and redirect them, because they are human beings. They listen and reason. But if you say you want to use force against force, then you will compound the problem and make the thing dirty. If Nigerian army, which has been very active in many hotspots, cannot deal with this issue for 18 years, for 15 years with Boko Haram, and now the bandits, and to me, the bandits are even more vicious because they are.
You said something about Nigerian army not being able to do something about it for some time now. You have been the person, or rather, news have actually carried it that you more like mediate or serve as an intermediary between them and the government, and that actually has sparked quite reaction among Nigerians. What can you tell us to be, some of the good points or flash points of your, interaction or discussion with them, especially when you had to get into the bush? Because the other time we're talking about giving them amnesty and all that.
Yes. You see, just to entice them to leave their weapons. You see, one thing good about it is, you see, you don't treat a disease without diagnosis. If a doctor can diagnose a disease, even if it's cancer, he will know how to manage it. So the good thing about it is, now before we are fighting a phantom, we don't know something is fighting us, coming to take us. We don't know that person. Now, by going to talk with them and sit down with them and to hear their grievances and understand their psychology, psychology. So we are able now to contain the problem. Now Kaduna is relatively safe. I can say from you don't hear any more mass killings now in Kaduna because we understand the psychology and the governor is cooperating. We are talking to them and they are keeping their weapons. They are not fighting. They still on the weapons. They hold the weapons. But you see, this is a small, gradual process in which slowly we will civilize them. We'll take away their weapons and let them into good citizens. So this is it. It has to be systemic. But for America to come and start bombing in northern Nigeria, I'm telling you.
You are in support of America invading Nigeria. 100%. Guns are blazing.
I said 100%. Since the government have refused to listen and leaders have not been helping matters.
What did that affect the sovereignty of Nigeria? That's the question I'm asking.
Hold on. You now have a sovereignty where terrorists are not telling you what to do, Abi. You now have a sovereignty where terrorists are on the dining table with government, telling government what to do, and leaders are supporting it in Moses. That's really my annoyance. Why would anybody utter such words? These are things you should frown at. Who brought them into Nigeria? Was Nigeria like this in 1999? Moses, please be sincere to yourself. Who brought them into Nigeria? What are they doing here? Why are they not in Ghana? Why are they not in Republic of Benin? Please, why are they not in South Africa? You can see, we forgot the genesis of our problem and we are blaming America. Let them come. If that will solve the problem. Since you people don't know what to do, let them come and help us. Look at now, as I'm talking to you now, almost 20 villages have been taken over in Plateau and Benue. Moses, who are those to occupy those villages? Are they Christians? The real indigenous of those states are now in IDP camp, and they are the farmers in Nigeria. Can you beat that?
This is Mike Arnold. I'm back in the United States with some of my dear friends and brothers who are part of what I call the sleeping giant, the mighty Nigerian diaspora population around the world. This giant is waking up, and good things will come of it. Just yesterday, President Donald Trump declared Nigeria a country of particular concern. A lot of people have worked very hard on this for a very long time, and it's going to give tools to the United States and other countries to apply pressure to the government of Nigeria to start to clean things there. Now, what Trump said next is even more important. He said, this is just the beginning. I believe that there are investigations, there are indictments, and who knows what else coming down. The Nigerian leaders who have been complicit or profited from or intentionally turned a blind eye to this genocide, this Holocaust, the light is coming. You will be found and you will be brought to justice. My friends in Nigeria, what happened yesterday is spiritually like the parting of the Jordan River. Promised land lies ahead, a new Nigeria of righteousness and peace and prosperity. The battle is just starting now. Do not be afraid. God is on our side. A new Nigeria is coming. Thank God.
Thank you, my brother. My name is Evans Nwankwo. I am from Cincinnati, Ohio. I was born in Nigeria. Nigeria was a very beautiful country until the extremists, backed up by the British government, turned it into a dark nation. And we all know that there's only one thing that could drive away darkness, and that is light. Yesterday, President Trump just shone a big floodlight on the nation. This nation has turned to be an evil nation. And I say that every evil has an expiration date. Yesterday, President Donald J. Trump just stamped expired on the evil that's going on in Nigeria. Thank you, President Trump, and over 125 million Christians in Nigeria say thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me begin by thanking God in a special way for this development that the President of the United States of America, President Donald J. Trump, has put Nigeria back on the list of countries of particular concern. And I also have to thank our brother here, Mike Arnold, and his close friend, Gibbs, and also in a special way, Ted Cruz, the senator. Let me clear something. You might be hearing a couple of propaganda going around. Oh no, This is going to bring sanction and more difficulties for the Nigerian people. Do not pay attention to that. If that is going to be the outcome of this mission, as a Catholic priest, I will not be part of it. I'm Reverend Father Augustine Odimegwa. I am telling the Nigerian community for a fact, this is primarily aimed at checkmating the high-level political individuals who are sponsoring terrorism in Nigeria. And I want to let you know that that is why they are running around, helter-skelter, trying to figure out how to stop it. But God is in control, because basically what it means is that many of them, they are going to lose their visa status, coming to America, or even parts of Europe. Many of them who have assets in America and Europe and all parts of the world, they are running the risk of losing all their assets, bank accounts, properties, houses, and all that. They are running the risk. So long as you are identified as one of those who are perpetuating this genocide against Christians in the past 10 years, once you are identified as an individual, you are running the risk of losing everything you have overseas. And we'll continue to fight until we fix Nigeria. If we cannot fix Nigeria, we work for the disintegration of Nigeria. Thank you very much.
My name is Dr. Sylvester Onya, President of AVID. The whistleblower in this is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He started talking about the jihadists, the Fulanis, coming over to take and displace the indigenous people of Nigeria. Well, nobody paid him heed. The only thing they're interested in doing is charging him to court. For no offense, he have committed nothing. So this coming Tuesday, we are very much aware of what have been fired, and the world is watching. We are watching. United States is watching. So Honorable Justice Omotosho should do the right thing. We encourage him to follow the rule of law. You cannot charge a man for nothing and expect to do something with it. You cannot use a repealed law to judge any human being. You cannot do double jeopardy on any human being. You cannot extraordinarily issue somebody from another country, Kenya, to Nigeria, and want to profit from it. Illegality cannot yield anything. So nobody is stupid these days. We will fight, and just as we have won on the CPC designation, we will win the case of Nnamdi Kanu, and they need to set him free and bring peace to normal human beings in Nigeria. Concentrate on dealing with the people that are decimating everybody, people that are trying to kill off Christians, and leave people that want to live a normal life. You cannot benefit anything from that. And we're equal to the task. And we encourage every Nigerian to stand behind Nnamdi Kanu to get and demand for his unconditional release this coming Tuesday. Period. We are sick and tired of everyday adjournment, shenanigan court. There's nothing working. We should be worrying about development of the nation, not xenophobia in the Igbos, not attacking the Igbo markets, businesses. Enough of this nonsense. It must come to an end.
Finally, my dear brothers and sisters, it is a shame that in the 21st century of Nigeria, since 2009, more than 18,000 churches have been burnt down, destroyed completely, and 5 to 10 million people displaced. This is a displacement of a whole generation. They call it IDP camps, but I call it concentration camps, because the government is not taking care of these people. They are left on their own, languishing. It's a shame. And that is the reason why we are fighting. And besides, since 2009, more than 52,000 people have been slaughtered. This is not statistics. We are talking about human lives. Human beings slaughtered for no just cause, for no reason. And the country pretends as if nothing is happening. No. We're going to continue to fight. This year alone, over 7,000 people have been slaughtered. And I repeat, this is not just statistics. These are human beings. Thank God that the President of the United States of America has hearkened to our cry and will continue to push until the country is fixed. Hopefully we do that. Otherwise, we'll start pushing for the disintegration of the country. We cannot continue on this type of life. Thank you.
My dear brothers and sisters, a dark night is ending and a new day is dawning. Regardless of faith, regardless of tribe, regardless of region, let's all get on our knees and thank our God that He is delivering truth and justice to this land. As we enter this new day of a new Nigeria that can be a bright, beautiful leader in the world, let's behave with the values that we want to see, that we want Nigeria to be. Let's not act out of hate. Let's not act lawlessly. Let's not act with unnecessary violence, but instead let's act with righteousness for the purpose of restoration. It's not time to look backwards. It's time to look forwards to the new day that can emerge if we work together. Nigeria will rise as a nation of justice and peace and prosperity when we work to restore the millions of innocent Nigerians, Christians and Muslims alike, who have been violently forced from their homes and everything taken away. Let this be our initiative. Let this be our focus. Let this be our call to restore Nigerians to their rightful homes. Because in doing this, everything else will be accomplished as well. They cannot go back safely if the terrorists are still there. But the goal is...
What the Fulanis are doing in Nigeria with the help of the British is a very dangerous game. They will lose everything. And by the time this very war is over, Fulani will be ejected from Hausa lands. And I blame Hausa people for what is happening today. Hausa people, your fathers were humiliated, your kings were dethroned and killed. You started to give birth to children who became subservient to the Fulani. For those who do not know Hausa history, I want to tell you something today that you may find very difficult to believe. At a time in Africa's history, the Hausa race were the most technologically advanced in terms of warfare in all of Africa. Do you know that Hausa people manufactured a musket, a gun, a type of a gun, before, when Britain was still fighting with bows and arrows and swords? Are you aware of that? Hausa people that you're looking at. Look at where they are today. At the height of the glory of the Hausa Empire, nobody ever believed that a bunch of cattle rearers in the Nachinama can take them over.
My people, share this video and drop your own opinion for inside comment section.